Ohayo, kochira, konbawa, oyasumi, okiru! Wake up, people. It's Shooting the Breeze, episode number 65. As you can hear, this is not your regular Taker's Mania voice. This is me, Mr. Dr. Senju. Good morning to everybody who's listening. Uh, there's a good explanation as to why I'm sitting on the booth right now, and not Taker's Minion. I'm not being partnered up by Taker's Minion as well, because he unfortunately has some working issues to deal with, and so now he is just it's just me and me alone. But well, I brought guests to accompany me because I can't do a 1.5 or 2 hour show all on my own, all by myself. Don't want to be. Well, first.
Okay, I gotta go.
Now you got the joke. Great. Anyway, the first voice, and that's the second voice. Well, I actually brought three guests today, so just to keep me company for about 2 hours while I burn the midnight oil, just to do this podcast for you guys. But first and foremost, I got from everywhere that I know. Because you are now everywhere, Biff. I can't seem to tag you on anything. You're on Connoisseurs, you're on Grounds for Development, and then you have this one more with George, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It was a one timer with George. We're still in a feeling out process, but you know the possibility for future dates is always there. So,
oh, of course. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Biff. I'm 32. I like long walks on the beach. My horoscope sign is Taurus. I'm actually going to skip right now. I've got poutine leftovers in the fridge that I can't get to because I'm attached to a headset right now. You're welcome, Doc.
I didn't know that we're now entering the episode of Bachelor or Bachelorette. I don't know.
I'm getting the giggles out of the way early because this is going to be one of those episodes where there's not many laughs to be had.
No, so. Not many. Okay. Anyways, that's Bachelor number 1. Bachelor number 2, introduce yourself.
Good morning from the beautiful Bay Area. This is One Winged Angel. Mm-hmm. How are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm good. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm good. I guess I don't know if this is my punishment for sending you an Adam Cole gif or.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am putting the law on you right now. Yes, it is.
Well, here I am. So it's a beautiful day here. This is one of the best, weather times of the year out here. It's just a beautiful, upper 60s day, and that's it.
That's it. Okay.
I don't know. It's a beautiful Saturday morning because I don't have to work, unlike Taker. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Okay. In any case, I also brought with you one of the more infamous names on the podcast, Miss Tanya Rogers. How are you today, madam?
Hello, everybody. I'm actually kind of sad because I just did a tribute show to Roman last night before I went to bed. Yeah, so it's still kind of fresh, but I'm a trooper. I'm here, and I'm ready to do the show.
Tears can and will be shed.
We're last night.
Tears can and will be shed if you still have them. Because I think people are still talking about how the biggest news of them all coming up this week. Well, a good segue anyways. The biggest news that came out from Wrestling World, or WWE, if you want to call it, is, Roman Reigns' announcement that he has leukemia and is now battling it again, and subsequently vacated his WWE Universal Championship.
That's so hard.
Huge. Yeah.
This is the kind of announcement or thing, the surprise that nobody ever wants to hear. It's really nobody saw it coming, and I mean, Roman Reigns, I don't know how he kept this a secret for so long with all the media that's out there. Everyone knows everything about everyone that's, in the limelight. But this just came as a huge, blow. So.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's not something you can process immediately, I don't think, because there's certain things that almost take time to really sink in. And it would have been one thing if he had injured himself in a match and was going to need, surgery to recuperate. Injuries happen in wrestling, and there are times where people have to go away for a little while. I mean, Roman Reigns had his surgery in 2014 for the hernia.
Yep.
He had to go for a couple of months, but it's something else when you're talking cancer, and especially when you're talking the recurrence of cancer. Cancer touches so many lives and so many families, and when he talked about, having had it once and it come back, and that, not only is the gravitas of him leaving, the gravitas of why he's leaving, but the gravitas of what he's gone through, it was almost 3 distinct levels of shock. And honestly, it takes a while to kind of process that as a fan, because it's just so unexpected and it's such a blindside. It's just so unfortunate, given all of the struggles he's had professionally over the last 4 years, to know, on top of the professional struggles, look what he had to deal with. In reality, it's an entire new level to the story.
I see. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty fresh in the memories, especially if you're an avid fan like Tanya Rogers. What do you say about this?
Well, it's I'm a part of the Roman Empire, and we're still pretty devastated, and we're probably going to be for a while. I don't think a lot of people understand why we gravitated to him, and like I was saying last night, there was a certain part of me that didn't understand like why I was such a huge fan. A big part of it was the way he carried himself. And I just, until the announcement, I didn't even understand that. And so a lot of us have like the way he carries himself, where he wanted to be professionally, and why. It's we have so much a deeper understanding of who he is now, and like the strength and the burden he had to carry. And we just said, like, we don't know if we would have been strong enough to keep quiet about that, and it's just like when you really, really love somebody, and then something happens and you realize that you didn't think you could love them anymore, but you can. And it's just a really messed up way to find out like how much you care about somebody and how much that person really inspired you in your personal life. Like you see so many stories about like he was just an awesome guy. He was just a cool dude. And he was the type of person, he was a leader, and he ushered in like a change in the locker room, because like we've heard stories about the older generation and how cutthroat it used to be back there,
Yeah.
And
Wrestler's Court.
Yeah, and he was one of those guys who he didn't do it alone, of course, but he was one of those guys that ushered in the change. And they're actually a family. And I just hope, like, for the other wrestlers, they don't lose morale. And a lot of cruiserweights, which something I've never heard, just he's not gonna advertise it, but a lot of cruiserweights was like he worked with them, and he stood up and said things for them and helped them a lot. So I just hope somebody else takes that up while he's gone too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing that surprised me the most about the whole revelation and the whole most of the backstage and most the rest of the WWE superstars doing it, revealing how he is backstage. I'm really surprised that he's actually pretty well liked backstage. Everybody has, even though sometimes I think you can say that some heads butt together and whatnot, just in just a small disagreement, but everybody has a good thing to say to Roman Reigns. There's no such story about how he's being treated as the main guy or anything. He's just that kind of guy you gravitate towards too.
Yeah, he's a very, addicting personality. Where,
yeah,
I don't know, but I think he did a lot of things the right way, as far as backstage, and gained a lot of respect in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's the thing is that he kept it a secret towards everybody backstage. He doesn't want everybody else to know. Yeah. So that's one thing. But one good question is that there's going to be a lot of questions coming out with their top guy in Roman Reigns being shelved for possibly, let's say, about 8 months, 9 months, I think, just to
at the very least,
maybe even a year, maybe even a year, just to take care of his leukemia and whatnot. So there's bound to be huge changes in the WWE for that matter, because who are they going to push? But that's a story for a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, it's just this surprising news. It's shocking. Somehow he comes out. We're saying that. Oh, okay. We're saying we're watching him come out just at the first hour of the show, and then just going, okay, business is about to pick up, and then suddenly he dropped this huge bombshell. I'm going to have to vacate the title. I got leukemia, and I'm going to battle it again. Wow.
He shut a crowd up that was ready. I'm pretty sure that crowd was ready to get hostile, not necessarily for him, but because of the whole crown jewel thing that we'll talk probably about later. But I know someone that was there, and they were pretty fired up already, and then just to drop that bomb, and I think that really shows his character, not his TV character, but his character as a person. That everyone would boo him or whatever, but all of a sudden he drops that bomb and the whole place goes silent. What?
That was one thing that was great about it. Like when he did, the crowd stopped reacting to him as Roman Reigns, and they reacted to him as Joe.
As Joe, yeah.
That was beautiful to see. That was beautiful to see.
Because everyone knows that this guy, you just know he's the good guy.
Yeah, basically when he revealed the whole thing, shit just got real. Every single person, oh no.
Right.
I would like to ask you a question about that, because I think it exposed something on Monday that some people had postulated but never really had a way to definitively prove, and I think that, judging by the reaction, now I think anybody in that position would have gotten, a positive response for their courage, no matter who they were. But I think Monday kind of definitively proves, I don't know that the crowds ever truly hated Roman Reigns. I think the people that booed were booing his usage more than they were him. And I think Monday kind of proved that, considering how quickly they flipped.
Yeah. This has always been my theory.
Go ahead.
And they're not even, I don't think that's them saying they booed his presentation or his usage. I think there's also a cop out that say they didn't like his character, but then they tell you, well, all he does is win. But that's not a character trait. That's something someone does. They were booing through him. They were booing things that they didn't like about how WWE does their top guys. They were doing they've done this Cena, and so a lot of people it's just fun to boo him.
Yeah. I
And
think most of the crowds there think that it's fun just to boo this guy because everybody else is booing the guy. So
yeah,
let's join in on it.
He's
we
almost
get
the
our
scapegoat.
voice heard about booking, and he's strong enough to take being booed. So
Yeah.
we'll keep booing him. But it
He
was,
eventually started to feed off it, I think.
yeah. He
Yeah.
did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a clip. They showed the clip where right before he said anything, there was some boos in the crowd, and he looked around, and there was a look on his face like he was gonna miss that, and it
Oh,
was
it was like a
so.
little smirk. Yeah, I did see
Yeah,
that.
it's like, so he enjoyed those boos on some level because
Yeah.
you know he could play into them.
Yeah, and he voiced it well actually. No matter where you boo me or no matter how you cheer me, at least you gave me a reaction, and that is why I'm very thankful.
And you know what?
Yeah,
If
he was very
in his
gracious.
position, I would rather probably be like polarizing like that than just everybody here, because then it's
I mean,
just you're kind of a
if I go back,
toy at that point.
yeah, if I go back to what Taker always says, what TM always says, a wrestler's lifeline is how the crowd reacts to you. You know a character of a wrestler will die on a stage if the crowd doesn't give you any reaction. That's the worst thing that can happen. You get cheered, you get cheered. It's okay. At least it's a reaction. You get booed, you get booed. You get a reaction. The crowds are reacting to you. The thing is, at least in anyone's case in WWE, or I hope everywhere else around the independent scene or other promotions around the world, is that at least the crowd will react to you no matter what you do. The thing that you're gonna have to worry the most is when they stop and you go, this is troubling. I don't know what to do.
You guys ever been to an event where he's about to come out and you could feel it in the air, like it's like it's something heavy, like his opponent could come out and the opponent gets their reaction, and then the silence in between his
They're just
opponent
getting ready. They're just getting ready.
it's like you can feel the shift. And like the first time I saw him live, it was the most. And this was in a completely positive city because where I'm from, we love him here. He doesn't get booed as much,
Okay.
but it was still like this feeling like something big was about to go down, something heavy was about to happen. So,
I'm glad you brought that up.
When did you watch him live? When did you watch him live, Tanya? How did cut you?
I saw him in 2016 and 2017 at a house show in my area where I live.
I see.
I know exactly that type of crowd mood that you're talking about because I got a chance to see him live in 2015, December, right after they did the angle with Sheamus.
Okay.
Cashing in. This was a house show in December in Charlotte, and I was actually spoiled rotten. He actually this was back when he was still entering through the crowd, and he entered one section over from me. So I'm naturally on my old phone. I've got a video of him from like one section away, and in a house show, it's more family oriented than the beat tapings are, and so the crowd was like 99% pro Roman, but there was like this audible buzz because that particular house show had been pretty garbage in terms of the quality. Like everybody, like SmackDown side or the B team, the B side at that time got all the good talent. And we got like the Goldust match and the Big Show match and the Dudley's Krusty match, and then finally here comes a star. Roman Reigns is a star. And it did palpable, just a palpable shift. Like people knew they were watching someone special. And to WWE's credit, even despite the backlash that Roman had to endure, they did an excellent job of turning him into a true main event player. Because people, whether they liked him or they didn't, eventually everybody came to buy him as a main eventer. Which is not an easy task. Not everyone that's pushed to the main event becomes a main eventer. Looking at Jinder Mahal, as a perfect case study there. You know, they pushed him to the main event, but it didn't stick. So,
Yeah. At least they pushed Roman Reigns into the main event and it stick. The only thing that they need to tackle next was crowd reaction. How did they have to do that? So
my example. So being in the Bay Area, I went to WrestleMania 31, and I had just gotten back into wrestling, for WrestleMania 30, and I had been not watching for about 10 years.
Yeah,
and just got back into it, and I got all wrapped up in the whole "Let's Boo Roman" thing after the Royal Rumble, but. At WrestleMania, when he made his entrance, it was awesome. Just
watching him come out from the crowd and just
come through the crowd, especially in a bigger stadium like that.
Yeah.
And he was like right below me, not necessarily in my section, but right below. And when they were showing the video package, everyone was standing up looking right in that little section. But for actually him, there was a lot of boos. And this is when Brock Lesnar was not everybody sick of Brock Lesnar. This is when people loved him. Like, he was probably the best pro wrestler on the planet at the very moment.
Yeah, okay.
Around that time, I would say. Because it was pre-Suplex City, really. He was still just... Because... The Suplex City whole chant didn't start until that night, actually.
Yeah.
But
was that not?
It was
Roman started Suplex City.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. When he suplexed him in the match, he said Suplex City, bitch.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
He started it first, I guess. He started.
So the thing for me is during that match, I had come in, I didn't know much about Roman. I didn't see the whole Shield thing because I hadn't been watching. But that main event really turned me into a Roman fan because it was one of the best matches I've ever seen. And I went to WrestleMania 21 watching HBK and Kurt Angle put on a show. And this main event just blew it out of the water. Especially, I mean, the cash-in is its own moment, but he showed that he belonged there. He belonged in that spot. He's a very humble person. I think that shows, and he takes it very seriously. So, where I think a lot of people just thought he really was handed a few things, but he took it and he ran with it instead of just being, I am gifted, but I could take it easy. But he never took it easy. So that was a very stiff match.
It never is. The positive thing that I've said, the positive thing that I've told on Twitter about him once and for all was that people are saying that he should go to the indie scene to prove himself, whatnot. No, I just replied, no, that's not what Roman is. Roman is 100% built for the WWE. He's never built for the independent scene.
I was just wondering how you gotta prove yourself on the independents when WWE does the most shows.
Yeah,
out of all the companies. So you go somewhere and work less. How is that proving yourself?
And wasn't he in FCW too? So
he was in FCW.
So it's not like he just showed up in WWE. He worked hard. So
because the argument is that people are saying that if you put Roman Reigns with any of this and X independent wrestler or Y independent wrestler, Roman's gonna get creamed. No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, not at all.
Most of those guys want to face him.
Yeah, that shows that he's being built well, even though again he's in WWE, where WWE books people incorrectly one way or another, but he's still kicking ass, taking names, and doing the shit that he needs to do. He's in a business kind of terms, he's an A+ employee, just like one John Cena. And back then, he's the guy you have to rely on to keep your company afloat. If not, well, good luck.
I'll tell you this flat out. Now, this is Um, this is only a sad spot in the sense that I would have liked to have seen it. Because when he comes back, let's be completely unequivocally honest here. When Roman Reigns comes back, he ain't never getting booed ever again. But Roman, the pop for his return,
nope.
the pop for his return is going to be Triple H in Madison Square Garden esque from 2002. Yeah. The sustained roar is going to blow the roof off whatever building he comes back in. But I don't ever think we saw true peak Roman Reigns over the last 4 years. I always
agree.
Not at all, because we could have gotten it way back when, about 4 years ago. We could have gotten that peak Roman.
I think the closest was when he beat Sheamus that night in Philly.
Exactly.
That was probably the most universal. And then I don't know what they were doing with him after that, because they did everything to fix whatever that they did, and then
bungled it again.
Yeah.
They fumbled the ball.
And then who wins the world title? Triple H. Oh,
Triple H.
Oh, God.
Listen, this is what scares me. That's why I don't really want to talk about what happens next, because I think they're going to go back to the older guys in certain spots, and we're just going to be sitting here like, well, what about this guy? What about Seth? What about Drew? What about Dean? I'd rather see Dolph in that position, and I am not a Dolph Ziggler. I would rather see Dolph Ziggler in the top spot than somebody from the Attitude Era. I'm just
Brock.
I think correct. If they put the gold on Brock, oh my God,
I think he's walking out of Saudi Arabia with that belt. And that's how everyone feels.
And I like Brock, but we can't have that.
I can't.
Yes, but like, as much as they did to get Braun over, and I feel like they fumbled him a couple of times too. Just go with him. Just run with him now. He put his head down. He learned. That's why he was with Roman. Roman taught Braun so much. And now it's time to see
that was one of the best feuds. That was one of the best feuds of the modern era.
It was. They made a classic feud. It really was. If you look from the whole history, Braun first showed up for Roman in his feud with Bray. So the history they had and the matches they've had, just let Braun get it. And
imagine though if Braun actually got the belt. Braun actually got the belt and carried the company for about almost a whole year, maybe. And suddenly at that time, Roman Reigns comes back, faces Braun again.
Oh, that would
imagine the reaction.
That'd be awesome.
Imagine the reaction.
I mean, there is this other WWE champion on SmackDown that's named AJ Styles that they just, have carry the company, but that's a whole different story.
I'll come to that. I'll come to that when I discuss about
this other champion.
Yeah, I know. I'll come to that when I discuss about the whole issue about what's next for WWE as a whole, because they just lost one of their top guys. If not the top guy, if not their top guy. So there's that. But yeah,
let's put it this way. They might as well just retire that Universal title. That thing is a freaking curse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It really is a curse. It's been a curse since the beginning.
You know what we said on the show last night? I said when it first was unveiled, the energy that Brooklyn crowd gave it, they put all their evil into that belt.
It really did.
When your best title holder has been Goldberg, that's 2017, whatever it was. That's how it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
He was I think the only positive champion that they've had. That belt.
Yeah.
And he held it for like
for a month. Yeah.
When you say it like that, well.
And I actually liked the WrestleMania match between him and Brock. A lot of people panicked, but I thought it was great. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll say this though, because I've already posted it on Twitter and it's pinned on my Twitter. Yeah. And Taker actually brought it up this week. I have history with leukemia once, so yeah. I know how it feels. So it's tough, especially when you got it at a very early age at 7. So very tough.
Could you imagine going through that again?
Ooh, I
Just-
can't. I
Just-
cannot imagine myself going
Yeah.
through that again. Because the whole time, imagine spending 1 year doing chemotherapy, doing chemo, doing radiotherapy, and then putting on meds, staying in the hospital for about a month or maybe 2 months or so until they say, okay, you are free to you are clear to be discharged, but we want you to come in every single week.
Yeah.
At once, at that point, at one point, it was every single week, and then when my treatment was going okay, it was every single month, and then it was every single quarter of a year, and then it turned to every year. So I'm still on the watch, but people are saying, but
well,
the
you have
doctors
to
are
be
saying
probably,
that, yeah, the doctors are saying, yeah, I'm still on your watch, but 100% you are cleared from leukemia, and back then, if you got leukemia, oh, people are going to say, "Oh, please pray for your life or anything." I mean, back then, I'm positive that the advancement of technologies now uh, can give a breathe a new lifeline to Roman Reigns, because I think it do. Because I don't know what kind of leukemia he's got. I don't know, because there are several types of leukemia. If most of you guys don't know, there are two major types, anyways. One of them is the more dangerous one, because I actually had a ward partner who sleeps on the bed beside me. She got the worst one, and she passed away about a month or two later, when I was in the hospital being treated, and she passed away due to leukemia. So there's that. And back then, I didn't know anything. I was saying, "Oh, where's the kid gone?" My mom won't say a thing, because that kid passed away, and then she knows that I could potentially pass away at that time, and I didn't. And like I said, 7 years ago, I could have died. 20 years later, I'm still cycling away from death. So here I am.
We're very thankful for that, by the way. Before we say,
yes, I am. And
indeed, who else would I send Adam Cole pictures to?
Jeez. Jeez Louise. I mean, I understand. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for saying that. Like, I needed to hear that.
No, you're welcome. I mean, I, I, I am pretty sure that Roman Reigns will not listen to this, but if WWE spies are actually listening to this, yes. I have leukemia. I've been through the whole thing. My hair got bald when I went through chemotherapy. It's smooth as a baby's skin for about 6 months until the hair started growing back. I look like a slightly malnourished kid who hasn't been eating well in about 4 weeks, and I have a bald head. And people are saying, you got old," and I just laughed it off. I thought, this is just normal. No, it's not normal. The whole bucket of shit dropped on my head for the fact of leukemia when I was 13. When I was in secondary school, and it was like, oh shit, okay. The whole realization started to dawn on me that, I could have died back then. So
Yeah.
I could have been.
But again, we are thankful it didn't. And
I could have.
I think and genetics has a lot to do with it, and I think Roman has strong blood in him.
Genetics too, but sometimes it just hits
and
it hits on people you don't expect it to hit the least. I mean, that's how cancer is.
You can have the best equipment, technology in the world, and
you can even have good genes. You can even have excellent 100% genes, and suddenly this comes.
Well, I think that's an understated part of the impact that his announcement had on Monday. There's two levels to it. There's, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but I think you hear me say it, you'll understand it. For those that have never had the misfortune of dealing with cancer or knowing someone close to them with cancer, which you're living a blessed life. Let me just put it to you that way. The announcement of him having leukemia, of having cancer, is a shock in and of itself. I mean, if someone says they have cancer, that's serious. There's a gravity to that that's significant. Even if you've never experienced it or had a loved one experience it, you recognize cancer is, oh shit, this is big. I think for people who have either experienced the disease or have had loved ones experience, because I haven't ever had cancer myself. My father passed away from cancer. My cousin passed away from leukemia, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I had two grandfathers that passed away from bone cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to say you have cancer. It's another thing to say a recurrence.
Yeah.
Because if you experienced it, the recurrence of cancer and the recurrence of the same type of cancer is that brings an entire new level because there's a stigma. And thankfully, like you said, technology is improving so much that it's erasing this stigma, and thank God for it. But generally speaking, whenever cancer comes back, that's historically that's not good. And so I think people who experience the disease, either directly or indirectly, that was another level of the pain of Monday night, because it's not just that he's going through this battle, he's having to fight a battle he's already fought once before. And recognition how serious that battle is, how tough that battle is going to be. But like y'all said, if anyone is equipped to fight it, Roman Reigns has got maybe 4% body fat somewhere on that gorgeous.
Yeah. In a way, okay.
One of
if anyone's equipped to kick leukemia's ass, I'm sure that guy is. So
we have a good friend of the show, Legends Lover, is a 2-time survivor. So
yeah,
that's
true.
It's like not an easy battle for anyone, and but he looked like he had a great mind going into it. When he came out on Monday, he could have been sad. I think he was the least sad of anyone out there because he was ready. He's ready. He was ready to fight it. So,
so yeah, I already said it. I went through it. I survived leukemia. He survived leukemia. Roman Reigns has the honor and pleasure of beating it again. So beat his ass. Beat its ass. That's all there is to it. Because I think it's a little back then. I can honestly say when I got it, it was both a combination of luck, probably positive thinking, and just faith that I can go through with it. So there's that. Yeah, it has been a really weird week where when you're ready to critique, judge, and say a lot of things about WWE's product and whatnot, but suddenly you're hit with this bombshell and then just go, "Oh, this is going to be a tough week. This is going to be a tough week to talk about anything," because after everything that you can go through, even though you watch Raw or SmackDown, or you're going through with the whole story about Crown Jewel and Evolution, or even no story coming out for Survivor Series, the major story of the week is always going to be Roman Reigns. Right?
I'm sure WWE wanted a distraction from Saudi Arabia, but I don't think this is what they had.
No, absolutely not.
I don't. I think in good I'll keep the positive thinking. I'll think in good.
But I don't even think this is like been a distraction. People have all talked about all of this in conjunction, because now Roman Reigns fans who felt icky about watching that show, I wasn't going to watch anyway. But some of the Empire was like they were only going to watch for him. And now, screw that show. He's not there. So why should I watch? I don't care.
and then suddenly every single person wanted to watch not just Raw, not just for the whole story, just for that first few minutes of the show, just to watch that emotional announcement that he's pulling out. So there is that. I'm not even. Go ahead.
Are we still talking about Roman, or are you guys going to talk about Crown Jewel? Because that's like
let's stretch out the whole Roman Reigns. I got an hour, and I got another hour for you guys to talk about Crown Jewel. So don't worry, I'm timing this up just nicely. So
all right.
When you mentioned watching Raw and SmackDown all the time, that's why I think a lot of people took this so painfully this news because, you know, you watch a lot of Roman Reigns. We don't think about it, but you really do. And you probably watch him and feel him more than a lot of family members in your life. And every Monday it's appointment television and on pay-per-views. It's what I'm trying to say is he's almost like, you know, a family member to us or a friend, even though we don't know him personally, but
I completely agree with you because it's different.
It's part of your life.
It really is. It's a different level of connection than a normal sports star. Like you can be attached to an athlete, and I think it works differently if you have a team more so than an athlete. Like if you're a fan of Golden State, you love Steph Curry. Yeah, I tailored that just for you, Dream.
Thank you.
You can be a fan of a team and love the athletes on that team, and then the athletes can move away. They could break your heart. They could, could leave. They could go to a rival. You know, and so there's a certain level of disconnect in the modern sports fan where you love athletes, but you don't get too attached because you know that you can get your heart broke easily. And then in wrestling, it's different. Not only is there no off season, these guys are going to be, you know, in your living room every single week, you know, without fail. But you also know they're not going anywhere necessarily. They're not going to, you know, jump ship. You know, WWE is the only real player for someone like a Roman Reigns or a Daniel Bryan or a Seth Rollins. You know, they're not going anywhere. You know, you can bank on them being there every single week. And so I think wrestling stars in particular, there's a deeper connection there because they are such an ever-present, you know, there's just a presence there constantly. And, you know, there's a more of a chance to get attached to a wrestling star than any other type of athlete. So.
So, most definitely.
And I think you want to say that in Roman Reigns' case, you have the kind of like, I'm not ginseng him, I'm not saying anything. You have the possibility of him, well, not coming back. That scares us a lot.
Look, Roman Reigns could beat leukemia again and not come back because of the shit he has to go through to beat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like it's not an either or, you know, and you know this better than anyone here, I'm sure. The doc, the treatment for cancer can be just as rough, if not more so, than the actual disease itself. So, you know, it's
for leukemia. I think you have no idea.
Well, you know, that's.
There you go. I'll just say it like that. It's just rough. I'll quickly say this though. I'm sorry to cut you off on it. I'll quickly say this just to say it how. In the morning, I go to the hospital. I get my early diagnosis, and then I'll get my meds. That meds are actually sleeping pills to put me to sleep, and they actually pulled some fluids out from my bone marrow, which is actually located on my butt, which just so happens to be over the bone just up on your butt, the tailbone of your spine. They actually put a needle inside and just to pull the bone marrow out of it, just to check and to see if I can do that. And once I wake up with my, I wake up on my stomach side, facing on the bed, and okay, and a huge plaster on my bum, just saying, I just got a huge needle stuck up there, just to pull out my bone marrow, and then go to your general radiotherapy and general chemotherapy, and then that's just pretty much it. The first month was rough because I had to do tens upon tens upon tens of chemotherapy until my hair falls off. That's always the side effect of it. So there's that. And then just the whole wait and see whether wait and see every single week whether I'm just recovering. I think that's what my mom and my parents were facing off. It's just what happens next week on next week. Am I recovering? Am I doing okay? And that's just pretty much it. So
basically a suck ass time.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Because
I watched my coworker.
especially-
My
and then
coworker
you-
went through it.
yeah, and then suddenly, and then imagine you're just a 7-year-old kid who doesn't really know shit about leukemia or cancer. The fact that you're just sitting there in the ward, just laughing and just smiling at people who's visiting you, saying hi. I don't know why you guys are just being sad. Oh, you guys are giving me presents. Thank you. It's just pretty much how it is. And then suddenly, okay, the realization hit, and that's why, like I always say, my days going by has always been a gift for me. So even if I don't know when my time's come, or even people will say that my time, you can't say that. Yeah, I'll happily say this: if my time comes tomorrow or next week or anything, I'll be happy. I did a lot of things when I up until I reached 30. So I mean, hell, I've traveled around. I watched Wrestle Kingdom. I watched wrestling live. I went to Anfield. And all that. And even though I am on the cusp of getting married or I've already engaged. On the cusp of getting married, if I'll still be happy. I'll regret the whole thing that I might. Why didn't I get married then? But no, there's no regrets with me. I like it. I just love the fact that it's just a gift, and some people who complain about their life and complain about other people's lives and whatnot, you guys really don't get it. If it's not the fact that you don't have a family member who's facing death, or just you facing death. You don't really cherish that life until you found out that maybe I'm gonna die tomorrow. So that's something. That's a huge thing to bring out, really. So I am mature at such a young age. That's why Taker says I'm wise beyond my years. Yeah,
you really are.
Because of that kind of shit.
And obviously, Angel and I need to book a flight over just to make sure that you have the proper send off from bachelorhood.
Don't worry.
We're not booted out of Japan in 48 hours. So.
You want me to come there just to get you? Okay, we're gonna get you married right now.
We make
Biff,
you
I'll do a sumo match with Biff. How about that?
You better be fully clothed, pal, because that ain't gonna be no.
Man, goodness, no, just no. I know you guys. I know you guys are cozy with one another. No naked sumo in my backyard.
What do you mean just sumo? There's no naked sumo. It's just sumo. Our RD is naked.
You guys are almost naked. You're gonna wear fundoshis.
Oh Lord,
you know that, right?
So
fundoshis are just what? One.
After going to WrestleMania 21 and seeing the biggest, whitest ass ever in the Big Show against Akibono, I don't know if I could ever deal with anything like that again.
And you show up in like the big rubber suit that they wear at the family function, and I'm gonna come out there with the loincloth on, and
guys,
somebody's not prepared for this.
Thank you, Zed. Thank you, man. I appreciate the congratulatory note. Thank you, man. But guys, I think all three, maybe just all two, I can easily just push out Tanya Rogers on this one. Maybe you two haven't forgotten. I can just say one word and you guys just cringe.
What word?
Yoshihiko.
Oh God.
Now let's take her.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Tanya's over here like, what the hell did I get into?
No, listen, I needed this laugh. I swear to God.
We need this laugh because we're gonna go away from appreciating Roman Reigns and all his glory and the phrases that we can give for his empire and anything and whatnot, just to talk about anything else on Crown Jewels and all that. But we're still working on the laughs. We're still working on the laughs. Again, no need to go in my backyard.
If we don't get you divorced before you're married, we failed you.
What? How can I get divorced before I get married? Calling off an engagement is not a divorce.
Oh, dear Lord.
Well, first of all, within like 30 minutes of touching down in Japan, I'm going to be hitting on your fiance. So, my Stetson and my Southern charm, and with my mint julep.
Do not bring fiance when julep. Do not bring fiance when meeting Biff, even though she will actually like meeting friends.
Apparently, Blanche Devereaux is coming to town.
You damn hippie! That was Nick Minion's first mistake.
Right.
I homed in on that like a heat-seeking missile. I was like,
anyway, anything
equal opportunity lover.
Equal opportunity lover, huh? That's why I said both of you are being so cozy with one another. I'm almost tempted to say get a room.
And silence.
And silence.
I was thinking of a way to pivot off of that, and I thought better of it. So
right. Or you just don't have anything. I don't have anything. Let me just write it off as an excuse by saying I thought better of it.
Well, the only reason I haven't started hitting Rogers is because I don't know her well enough yet, and I don't know how she would accept that. The last thing I want is to actually offend somebody with my spurt. But once I realize they're okay with it, they're screwed. They get it for the end of town.
I think when Tanya's just laughing her ass off, I think that's the moment where you have to realize.
You better not speak for her. You better not speak for her because
I am speaking for her.
She's about to enter world pleasure unbeknownst to humankind, You don't get it. I'm gonna come across like an a-hole over at Gates at Teach, but I'm actually quite charming in real life. I almost married the woman that owned the house down in New Orleans that we stayed at last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was just because she brought me beer. She kept me stocked with beer in my fridge, in her fridge, I guess.
The way you describe that woman, I would turn for her in a heartbeat. The way she was
God
treating you.
Almighty, I was following around her like a damn dog. I was like,
here's a note from Madeline.
Oh God,
you're so charming. Biff, block your ass.
A bit. What?
Madeline said. She's so charming. Bliff blocked his your ass.
Oh my God! Oh, you just opened Pandora's box. You have no idea.
Oh boy,
it's getting spicy in here.
Well, it is almost 1 o'clock at 1 a.m. in my place, so it's already after dark.
After hours.
Night thread, yeah.
Oh God.
9 a.m. here.
Here's the thing, though. You guys sound terrible. You guys sound even more terrible than Japanese porn calls. So those adult call girls that you can call, it sounds even worse in Japanese. So screw that.
It reminds me of that one time that I accidentally mentioned the existence of RedTube to my ex-wife. We became RedTube. Yeah, so.
Right. Anyways.
If you don't know what RedTube is,
I don't.
Yes,
I do not know.
I kind of dropped
our saint MDS.
Let me just rewind back to a little bit more Japanese, Mr. Dr. Senju. I do not know this RedTube. Can you tell me?
That damn cyberweb stuff.
I already know Japanese AV and what was it again? Ganguro girls. So that's
You know what I love about this show? No matter how serious a topic we discuss. At some point, we take a wrong turn to Albuquerque when Angel and I are around.
Of course.
And we
It's just off the rails.
We inevitably end up in the dumpster fire territory of smut talk and naked snow and broken marriages and getting babies and everything. And
well, that's why MDS is having us plan his bachelor party, because that's where it's going to happen. Everything you just mentioned.
Oh no!
MDS is going to wind up in a tutu with a cap on, and he'll wake up in Aogashima like, how the did I
Anyway, anything else we can say about the whole place's hot sauce on table? Thank you very much about romance. Anything else? I mean, the only thing I can say, I think that is short and just sweet. Good luck fighting cancer, man. And we wish you 100% all the best, and we hope to see you soon. So there's just that. I mean, like I said, we've been through it. We went through it together. We went through cancer. We had that experience. You have the pleasure of doing it again. You have the utmost pleasure of beating cancer's ass again. So do that.
Beating that ass.
Yeah. Please beat it.
Beat that ass. Beat it hard.
Beating that ass, yeah.
I know Taker doesn't like language on this channel, but I'm gonna drop a B word here. Sure. Make cancer your bitch and just tap it out and just get it done and come back and get the cheers that you should have had years ago when he comes back.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going to use language too. Fuck cancer. That's all I got to say.
Hey.
And I hope.
Exactly.
Fuck
cancer.
I know Roman's going to pull through. He's going to be strong. He's got a strong family. We don't know.
He's better
about
prepared.
Wife and kids. We know
prepared.
about his extended family, but not his immediate. Wife, kids.
He's better prepared.
That.
He's better prepared now.
And I think
I believe that he's better prepared.
Yeah.
Because back then he actually told that back then he had little to no money. He had nothing.
Yeah. He had nothing. They were having a baby on the way. Football tossed him aside. And that was it.
He's literally sleeping in a car. I think that was the correct thing that he said. There's that too.
If he had just asked, I would have, gladly let him stay over. But
oh, I'm sure he would have. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, he's a beautiful man. Okay.
I know that. You know that. He knows that. And if he didn't, he would have after you got done with him. So.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Angel meaning to the word drive by.
Wow. Okay. Oh. Saucy.
Yeah.
It's already been saucy, spicy.
Yeah, I'm bringing some mango habanero into this chat. Woo!
Yeah, habaneros and hot sauce.
Go.
No more wonton soup for you.
Or are you just soup now? What?
You don't come here anymore.
Bread, $3.
You know, no more wonton soup for you.
You scare my wife.
Oh God. Okay. Also, I'm gonna give a shout out quick to his name is Samula Anoa'i, another one of the families. He's also battling cancer. I think he's battling.
Yes. Yep.
He
has
a stage 4 liver cancer and is waiting for a transplant. So good luck to that too. That's even more terrible than leukemia, because you're actually waiting for something that's just a lifeline, and you're just waiting for that to come back. So
thoughts and prayers to that whole family right now.
Awesome prayers indeed. Okay, so From praises to, well, probably a little bit of a fire lighting flamethrower action. What do you guys think about WWE still continuing on with the whole crown jewel thing?
Tire fire.
Back to what we do best. Complain.
Okay. Here's my take on it, because I read up on it.
Go ahead.
WWE accepted $1 billion with a B
Mhm.
dollars from this family
Mhm.
for shows over 10 years.
Mhm.
This is just the first year. They are
Mhm.
not going to welch on $1 billion with a B dollars. And all us fans, we bitch and complain and moan and whine for the billion with the B that we give them. This family just dropped it in their lap, and all they have to do is some stuff that WWE seems pretty cool with anyway. WWE's never been the most moralistic company. They don't care what's going on. A lot of people who are talking about cancel Crown Jewel, they didn't care until this one story. When Saudi Arabia is one of the worst countries in the world and has been for a long time. It's why I didn't watch the first show. It's why I said, okay, well, I will never be associated with this show whatsoever. So I think some people are just grandstanding now because it's publicity. But this has always been an icky deal. And if you were cool with watching the greatest Royal Rumble, be cool with this because it's on the same level. That's how I feel.
The
Nothing
greatest
has
Royal
changed.
Rumble. The greatest Royal Rumble. I don't know. I watched part of it and it just didn't feel right. I don't know. If you watched it just wasn't.
House show.
Well, I've seen house shows. It was even. I don't know. It just was. It really
it's even
felt
worse
more
than
staged.
it's even worse than the house show.
No, see the thing about it is they're using WWE media to sell a propaganda
and that's really the problem.
I
don't have any problem with them. I don't have any problem with them running live shows there. That's fine.
Yeah, because if it brings them money, but
when you're broadcasting it and what they were broadcasting was just and having their broadcasters, spew it.
Yeah. It just feels not a WWE product.
Well, there's a discernible difference between holding a show in, let's say, New Orleans, and then holding a show in Saudi Arabia where you break in the middle of the show to do a 10-minute video piece on how progressive the country is becoming.
Exactly.
You don't have. Yeah, it's one thing to run a show in Qatar or Dubai, and taunt the first ever female match in Dubai a couple of years ago with Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
That you promote because that's legitimate change. Saudi Arabia, that's not promoting change. That's propaganda. That's being a mouthpiece for the government.
Yep.
Government that obviously and has actually admitted to the premeditated murder of a dissident journalist that left the country and then was coaxed back into the consulate and apparently hacked up with a bone saw. So, we're not talking about a moral regime as we would know it here. So
this isn't a Criminal Minds episode. This is real life.
Yes.
And people complain about not having women over there. I'm glad the women aren't going over there.
Yes,
because it's not safe. It's not safe in any way.
Okay.
So
I can give praise that they're trying. Yeah, I can give praise to the progress that they're trying to make, but then again, it feels like you take one step forward and you take 10 steps back. And what's the point? If you're trying to push, we're trying to be as kind of like progressive and as liberal as you guys are, but then again, you take 10 steps back and just do something shitty like this. Oh no, it's not going to it's not going to go down well with the rest of the people around you.
Understand that as an American woman, you cannot understand the word progressive and celebrating letting women be able to drive. Like you're celebrating that. They should have. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like
And only a select.
as long as they
Select.
they treat women like subhumans. Like,
I mean, congratulations! Saudi Arabia actually gave women the right to drive a vehicle one step forward, and then suddenly this news comes out. We're pushing propaganda using one of your companies in WWE just to tell that we are good. No, please don't do that.
It's like celebrating allowing yourself to dress yourself. It's like congratulations. It's a pretty much a basic human right to freedom of transportation for any other country. But that's the problem. This is what WWE got into bed with, and it's just the tip of the iceberg, because there's the issue of the absolute abhorrent treatment that women receive in that country.
Yes.
There is an abhorrent problem with LGBTQ plus community in that country. And religious minorities have it rough in that country, and it just goes on and on. It just filters down further and further. The group persecuted openly. You cannot be an open member of the LGBTQ plus community in that country. You are
absolutely not
risking your life. That's a death sentence.
Well, what we're doing right now, this open forum this dialogue we're having, that costs that journalist his life. It's exactly what we're doing right now.
Yes, yeah.
And
the only thing is that we're doing this just because we can. It's not because that
we can do it, and that's
somehow it pisses off. Yeah, that's
not letting a few women drive.
Yeah, no. Let women drive. They have every single right to have anything and every single thing that they want to, they wish they can have. That's just, it's not just equality, it's just equal opportunity. Give them that. There you go.
No, see, if Saudi Arabia had prohibited people from Ohio or Idaho driving, no, that's a different story. Now we can celebrate.
Oh Lord!
But,
oh no!
They should try driving over the Bay Bridge. They'll rethink it.
Maybe we should have them drive in Atlanta at rush hour and see how they like it.
Oh come on! Just no. I mean, personally, I'm still sticking by with my decision. I'm still unsubscribed off. I actually subscribed to Netflix.
That's good.
I actually channeled my payment for WWE Network to go, okay, I'll just take Netflix. I got the first month free, and then I'll decide whether I want to stick to it. I'll stick to it. I am
not going to unsubscribe, but I
know.
I'm not going to watch Crown Jewel though. No. But I will not unsubscribe.
Something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. You keep going, dude.
I forgot what I was going to say anyway. Go ahead.
I love you.
Oh God. See what I mean about you two getting a room. I think it's better if you two get a room and get it out of your system and then come back.
Oh, how's it
going, guys?
Sure. No,
and I'm bringing Adam Cole to this bachelor party, by the way.
Oh, for the love of God! Now I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it!
Damn it! Okay.
Well, no,
off the rails again.
Oh, now you remember. Okay.
I remember. I was going to say that I think just kind of focus back on WWE's involvement here for a second. I think what they were banking on, and I'm not justifying this because. Originally, I was of the opinion, and this is before the murder of the journalist became public knowledge. This was in the original build-up to the show. I was of the opinion that, they probably should have gone just because of the financial responsibility to the shareholders, not justifying the morality of it. And then after the murder became news, obviously they couldn't in good conscience run the show. And
Exactly.
they're going to anyway. I think what they were hoping for was that Saudi Arabia would kind of be bumped from the news cycle if they could stall for enough time that it would be out of the news cycle and there wouldn't be as much of a PR backlash in the mainstream media. But actually, I think that actually played against them here because it seems that as time has gone on, more of the mainstream media has become aware of WWE's involvement, and now they've kind of got a little spotlight plugged on them.
Yeah,
so,
not in a good way either. Because
no, definitely not. So, but you know what? When you make blood money to be a propaganda tool for a president regime, this is what you get. So,
yeah.
And the timing is everything because they got this big Fox deal, so they're they're prime talk right now in the financial world.
Yes,
especially here in the States. Their stock was up almost to $100, which is now down to
down to a lot. Jeez,
down to 70.
Yep.
So, they were on top of the world, and then this happens at that time.
This is really going to throw a wrench in their plans.
Karma can be a bitch. I'm just sorry for my language again, but
it actually hit a low of $73 earlier, but rebounded to about 75.68, and then closed at 77.
Yeah,
and just closed to about 77.
I still wish I had invested when it was like 18, but that's beside the point. I'd still be happy.
But I'll tell you something. You know they cycle up and down like this every couple of years. If you're a wrestling fan, you can catch the cycle, and you know when to get into it now. So.
Yeah, I agree.
It's never been this lucrative though, but
no,
not at all. Never this lucrative. But hey, I'll give a quick one. Here's the thing. Usually, for 4 weeks ago, stocks has been well over 91, and then went down to about 77. You do the math, it goes about company lost over $1.5 billion in market capitalization in the past month alone. But still, $77 in the stock market currently that WWE currently sits is still far higher than where it stood at the beginning.
But you know what? We have the XFL coming, so it's all good.
Wait, do we remember when Vince is going to take over for is going to leave for XFL?
I think
he's not going to leave. He already said that in the press conference.
Yeah, he said he was going to do both of them.
Yep.
Oh, joy.
That's fun.
But now that the NFL has tried to fix everything.
Though.
2020. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's when he said they launch.
Please, if there is a god, if there is a wrestling god up there, please make Vince McMahon super busy for the XFL next year so that he doesn't really do anything.
He's got to cut this thing off before it even starts. Because he based it on the whole, anthem deal that was going on in the NFL. They fixed that. So.
Yeah.
But that's not why people stop watching.
Yeah.
I used to be an NFL fan, and I stopped long before this came up. It's a lot of stuff that disgusts me about the NFL.
Considering I'm not one who actually tunes into it. Why is it? I'm curious. I'm just curious. Just give me a general answer on this one. Because I know two of you are huge fans of American football.
Well, I have my own gripes with John Gruden right now, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, I can tell you this from a pure.
Give me a general
perspective. There's a couple of problems with the league, and we're not just talking about the anthem. We're talking about before the anthem, like Tanya mentioned. Number one, the quality of play has gone down. Just from a pure fan perspective, the quality is way down. There's too many teams in the league, and there's not enough talent. Two, this was kind of, as we've gotten further in time, we've become more aware of the health issues that these players are facing, and it's becoming, kind of, for some people, it was a turn off to know of how, how much damage these people were doing to their bodies playing this game, and how they weren't being protected by the league. That leads into an entirely different, problem, which was the league itself is just a complete money grubbing asshat of an organization that has no consideration for their fans whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they are all about that cold hard cash, and they'll screw over anyone they have to get it. And so it's like a toxic stew of bad PR, bad management, quality going down, too many commercials, health issues, the players.
If you want to think of the health issues, there's a lot of documentaries out there on Jeter Seau and Aaron Hernandez and plenty of other, major NFL stars that just went pretty much, their brain was turned to mush. So
I see. So basically, it's health. Basically, it's just revolving around a huge amount of health issues coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with Chris Benoit. The same
literally,
thing with Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
What's his name from Kansas City? Jovan Belcher, I think his name was.
Uh-huh.
Murdered his girlfriend and then committed suicide in the parking lot with Andy Reid trying to talk him down. So
you can watch Terry Bradshaw on Sunday mornings and try and figure him out. And you'll see his brain is toast.
Right. Yeah.
He's also a redneck. That also hurts the.
Okay.
So it wasn't much to fry. Is that what you're saying?
We Southern.
I like that.
Dealing with a little bit of a short stack anyway, so.
Fine.
Especially Louisiana. I mean, some of us are blessed. We live in like the hoity-toity areas of the South, but Louisiana is known for their good food, not for their road scholars.
I'll happily accept. I'll happily accept Louisiana's good food. I'm always a foodie.
Oh God, so high.
Louisiana food is.
I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie first and foremost. But I keep my body in shape. So again, but I love food. I just love it. So.
And if you're listening, I have no reason to believe that you are. But if you're listening, Vernita down in New Orleans, I love you, Dream Woman.
Oh,
I still have the coconut you gave me that was painted up. Marry me. God, deliver me to that crawfish etouffee again, and my body is yours.
Crawfish etouffee.
Yeah, she opened me up to a culinary
of proportions, I assume.
The big O word. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Quickly moving on. That's one big story. The other big story is that evolution. I mean, that's another huge thing that's going on, and then suddenly, with the whole talk about the whole issue with Crown Jewel, Roman Reigns' departure, and then we don't have we have less time for evolution, and sadly to say, little to no time for Survivor Series. I mean, has any of you ever even heard about anything for Survivor Series?
No, and I put a lot of money into Survivor Series because I'm going, but I'm flying down to Los Angeles for it.
Not a peep at all. Just God.
Takeover is going to be awesome, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I have nothing. I don't know about Survivor Series. Like, I'm hoping they don't just go to the old well with the brand warfare, but I kind of feel they'll just do that because they got nothing else right now.
Because they should have canceled Crown Jewel.
That's an easy go-to.
They should have canceled. Really, they should have.
Yeah, I mean, they should have canceled Crown Jewel and then moved those matches to Survivor Series.
Okay.
Crown Jewel should just be a house show, not televised. Just
that could work too.
Tanya, you were saying something?
But the whole point of this deal is to spread the propaganda that country wants.
Yeah,
so.
It's number one.
Exactly.
But
it's
the
true.
main thing
you have to think about when you get into bed with these people, the type of people they are. They weren't just gonna we don't. If they would do that to a journalist, we don't know what like WWE saying no to them really means.
I know. I
That's when
understand.
people like just cancel the show. You can't like you think you can just cancel on these people. I might cancel this. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what you have to think before you get into. It's not like it's a secret who these people are and what they've done and how they operate. So when you get into business with them, like I've dealt with some people who've done some unsavory things and broken some laws. And when you tell certain people you're gonna do something, you have to either do it or suffer consequences.
I know.
And it's not impossible that WWE can suffer consequences from Saudi Arabia for this.
Yeah. When you're talking
about
when you're talking $1 billion, that's
$1 billion with a B.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. In my opinion, anyways, and I think I'm gonna shit talk about WWE for once. It's a publicly traded company. It's a business. Yes, first and foremost. Their biggest lure, the money, of course. Like you said, Tanya, they're lured to the billions with a B. So.
Yeah, well, that's a very salient point because Vince McMahon is not that big a deal.
No,
it wouldn't take much to
or somebody in his family. He got a lot of grandkids. Like these people don't have no scruples.
No, not at all.
Actually, usage the word scruples. I love that.
I mean,
pull out the dictionary and thesaurus for today.
If you want to pull their propaganda, if you look at the picture with the journalist's son with the crown prince shaking his hand, I mean that says it all.
Right.
I mean, it's just a whole lot of bag of snakes on this one. It's just,
it's really ugly. It's so many levels of ugly to it.
But WWE has Evolution to make us.
No, I'm not watching Evolution either. As much as I would love to see first ever women's only wrestling show.
No first WWE. Ever, no historic. I can't deal anything anymore.
I agree. No more historic first ever anything. Because each and every time I hear that, I'm taking a shot.
This feels like glorified house show. Also, it really does.
Okay.
To me.
Oh, okay. Now it feels like a glorified house show because the newsreel has come out that Alexa Bliss is injured.
Yeah, without her, there's no show.
Without her, there's no show.
This from pay-per-view to tiddlywinks.
But we have Molly Holly on the card, so we're good.
Oh, I love Molly Holly.
So do I. But sorry, Molly, I do love you.
I mean, now the whole thing. Here's the ropey dope of the whole situation with that match between supposedly Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. First off, it was supposed to be Trish Stratus and Alexa Bliss, sure. And then the question being said that why would it not be, say, Trish Stratus versus Lita?
It should have been Trish versus Mickey.
Or Trish versus Mickey. That's the other choice.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to see. But
everybody would have wanted to see that.
Yeah.
And it's proven because they had an electric moment in that Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
and
they
then
did.
Awesome.
And then it went to a whole Trish Stratus versus Lita, Trish Stratus and Lita versus Alexa Bliss versus Mickey James. It turned into a tag match. Okay, at least we're seeing Trish Stratus versus Mickey James in a tag match. There has to be that caveat somehow, and that caveat is just okay. I can accept that. And then suddenly, Alexa Bliss got herself injured. I think she busted her nose, and now she's being replaced by Alicia Fox.
No, she has a concussion.
Yeah, she has a concussion. Sorry, she has a concussion, and now she's being replaced by Alicia Fox. So now we have Alicia Fox, Mickey James pairing up against Mickey James versus Trish Stratus and Lita. We're basically watching 4 veterans of WWE wrestle in Evolution.
Okay.
On a celebratory note, yay!
That's good.
That's good. On how you want to push your event, most of all. What happened? I mean, okay. I mean, my first comment is okay, fine. It's something that I cannot control. Alexa Bliss got herself injured. I can't control that. She got herself injured.
I want to give some love to Mickey James because she takes loss after loss, but she is one of the most talented women they have and beautiful. But that's beside the point. But
I mean, a lot of
think
people,
she deserves better.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are already calling this underwhelming. The whole show of Evolution being underwhelming.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of us, longtime women's wrestling fans, like we used to get pillow fights. So, like, it's kind of like we're gonna take this way worse, and we're just gonna like the company doesn't like. I don't know why people expect more from WWE. You need to just accept that this is what they do. This is how they do it.
Honestly, I think Nikki and Ronda is going to be great.
Those women are going to deliver. It's going to be a good show.
It is, but
I think Nikki and Ronda is going to be great. I'm most excited for that match. I really am. I think it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
And Charlotte and Becky in the last women's match. Ooh. Oh my god, I cannot wait for that.
Those are your main event matches. That's what you're selling, and they're both going to deliver.
Okay,
I have no doubt.
Well, let's also we should also give some credit here to the Mae Young Classic final. That match, Io Shirai.
That'll also be
semifinals. The finals. Okay, the finals.
Yeah, the finals.
Finals.
Semifinals.
Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. That's going to be a hell of a match too.
The only thing I was watching there in the Mae Young Classic is just Japan versus Australia. That's it.
Japan.
Yeah, Nihon.
That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Hososei. No.
No Hososeki, damn it. It's the land of the rising sun versus Aussie. Oi. That's all I was thinking. Oh, okay. We have Rhea Ripley versus this, and then versus that. So.
I gotta say this though, and I think this is an answer to what Tanya was bringing up about people expecting WWE to do what historically they're not equipped to do and not willing to do. And I think what it is almost a wish on the part of the fans, like a desire on the part of the fans to see women's wrestling take the next step. Under what there's an assumption that when Triple H takes over, that the presentation that we see at NXT and in the Mae Young Classic is going to filter onto the main roster, and we see seeds of that now with how people like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks have been treated on the main roster, and we can argue the merits of their booking historically on a different show, but at least they're treated as serious athletes now. We're not in the era of the pillow fights anymore. But I think that people are ready for the company to take that next step. And there's almost this wish that, with so much just pure talent in the company, from NXT and developmental all the way up now, that maybe Evolution was going to be the time where it became that stepping stone. Like people keep waiting for that next step. And I'm not for certain that it's coming until Vince McMahon leaves. But people keep hoping against hope because, some of two of the hottest angles in the company right now are in the women's division on either side. So,
it's crazy. Like, this isn't going to change, though. It's sad, but it's true. Like, some people are like, this is just, a PR move. And it kind of feels like that when you look at the booking, because most of the women were just thrown into a battle royal. But yeah, it just
feels like it's a PR stunt in a way.
Yeah, it feels a little empty, the promotion and the build for it. But we're just like, these women are crying and so happy about it. So I'm just going to celebrate with them that they get to be a part of this, and hopefully
it'll improve. Hopefully it'll improve. Yeah.
Wrestling forward.
Agree. Hopefully, it'll improve and whatnot.
Yes, because we need something positive this weekend. This past week
Yes,
really
this
shitty.
past.
Yeah.
I know.
Evolution is all I have at this point in wrestling.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you this good news though. I'll give you this one good news though. I think I could. I think I can definitely spoil this. Uh, Night 8 Road to Power Struggle Super Junior Tag League 2018 for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Uh, I'm not gonna run down all that yet because I'm just gonna say one match though. Which was Bullet Club against Kazuchika Okada uh, and his gang of gangbusters, of course. Who is it? Toriano and his what's left of Chaos. At the end of the match, Bullet Club jumped on Kazukada and tried to, well, basically just beat his ass in the middle of the ring. Guess who came to the ring to help rescue him?
Who?
Hiroshi Tanahashi. The man with the golden mane of hair itself, who looks like he can go up to 50 and still wrestle. The ace himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and they're billing this as the handshake heard around the world, as apparently Hiroshi Tanahashi is now sided with Kazakata.
Well, you lost me at Toriano, but you got me back with my future ex-husband. So
Future ex-husband? Who's your future ex-husband, sir?
I have a list of them.
Oh,
I have a list of ex-husbands and ex-wives.
Oh,
I'm going to cycle. And Hiroshi Tanahashi is on the. Oh God, Hiroshi Tanahashi is like top of the list, right with Dennis Quaid. And then,
I'll give you the whole.
Dennis
list,
Quaid, huh?
Because here's.
oh my God, Dennis Quaid smile. Oh, I think
I'll give you this. I'll give you this because it's an exhibition match between Jay White, Bad Luck Fale, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa and Gedo versus Kazukata, Toriano, Trent Beretta, Chucky T, and Rocky Romero. Basically, what's left of Chaos versus the new OG Bullet Club, in a way, because they got
Bullet Club just needs to end.
Bullet
Club is so arbitrary now. It's.
But yeah, they won. Bullet Club won, and the whole team of Bullet Club tried to kind of maim and torture and injure Kazukata, and Hiroshi Tanahashi came back. So
that's quite the little two-man power trip right there, actually.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this because it's an important piece of history. Because back then, when Kazukata was climbing up the ladder to Stardom and basically to the main event, main event itself on NJPW, he has to face Hiroshi Tanahashi, who back then was the guy to beat. That's the company guy. That's the guy who delivers 100% in every single match on NJPW. That's the guy who held the belt. And Kazukata promptly did. Basically, just takes away the throne off from Hiroshi Tanahashi and just okay. I'm the next guy. I am the next main man for the next 10 years for NJPW. So says Kazukata. And today and tonight, basically yesterday now, because right now is about 1:20, 1:38 in the morning for me. Kazukata and Hiroshi Tanahashi seemingly are, well, paired together. They're one-on-one. They're now the two-man power trip. Because there's no official post-match yet. There's no I don't think so. Maybe I'll check it out later. Maybe there is on NJPW World. But yeah, seemingly Tanahashi and Okada are now on equal terms. They're teaming together to fight the new Bullet Club.
That's not where my mind went when you first talked about them pairing up. So.
Oh dear.
Why did I bring you on in 1:38 in the morning?
Hey,
it's 9:38 yesterday here. So
you guys and your mornings and your and
Dude, don't.
It's almost noon where I am, so
You guys in your daylight. You guys in your
in
daytime.
Japan. So who's Lord
No,
Toranaga?
you
Who's Lord
guys in
Toranaga
Japan.
fighting? Oh,
Lord Toranaga is fighting nobody.
no.
Wait, did you just say pornographing? What?
No.
Lord Toranaga, not pornographing. What the? Where the hell?
I'm just saying I don't really follow New Japan. So
I thought I heard Angel say pornographing, and I caught that at the tail end there. So
I just watch like the big shows that everybody's talking about.
yeah,
Mhm.
I went to
Like
the
I
live
know
show.
who Okada is. He's my favorite. So like,
Tanya, if you wanna to make an apt comparison, currently right now Kaz Okada is the Roman Reigns of the WWE of the NJPW.
yes, I got that. That's why he's my favorite.
I can't say he's the John Cena NJPW anymore. That title is now shipped off to Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's the John Cena of NJPW now, with the briefcase and all that he won in G1.
Tanahashi sucks. Oh, no, never mind.
No. If you say that over here, people are gonna cry at you. Not hate on you, just cry. Why are you cursing on Tanahashi?
the appropriate thing to say is "Go Ace," you jerk.
Yeah, go Ace, you jerk. Yeah, but I agree. I don't know who's in Bullet Club anymore. Well, apparently since the whole switch between management, people are still unsure of the elite of the Bullet Club. Basically, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. They don't know, and Marty Scurll for that matter too. They don't know what the status for those guys are. But I do think that the OG is going to stick around in NJPW, I believe.
Well, I'm happy that the Bullet Club made an appearance in San Francisco at the G1 special with King Haku. That was the best part.
Because he's the one who called the shot on. Okay, we need to kill off every single other member of the Bullet Club.
He's the most badass pro wrestler there's ever been.
He's the most badass pro wrestler that hasn't really wrestled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hasn't really wrestled yet.
If I saw that guy in a bar, I'd go to a different bar. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you do what Haku tells you to do.
Yep.
So. There ain't no. Maybe can we talk about this? There's no.
Okay, sir. I'm
cool.
Death by chop.
Death by chop. Oh no.
Reverse crescent thrust kick, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say.
Yes.
At least a positive note I can pull off for at least another happy note I can pull off for WWE is that in this week's NXT we see Mia Yim making her debut. First NXT appearance as a contracted member of WWE Wednesday.
Yep, and full coverage of that was on Grounds for Development. Cheap plug, cheap pop.
Sure, go ahead.
Yay for Mia Yim. Not the best match I've ever seen her in. I actually thought Aaliyah kind of came away a little bit more impressive in that match, but overall, I'm glad she's there. So
because I watched the highlight of it, and it kind of threw me off a little bit because earlier on, Aaliyah seems to be the one who dominated the early match, and then suddenly the momentum shifted to Mia Yim, and Mia Yim just goes full throttle and just finishes the match. But
it's she started in second gear and had to recuperate. So.
Mm-hmm. And then of course I have to touch the revelation of the superstar who attacked Aleister Black.
Doc, I'm going to tell you this one time.
What?
I've heard you. I love you like a brother.
Uh-huh.
I look forward to hanging out with you in Japan one day. Legit.
Uh-huh.
It's Alistair.
Alistair,
not Alistair. Alistair. Say it with me.
Thank you.
Alistair.
I have been away from the States, so kill me now. So
if I hear you say Alistair one more time, I'm going to Easter myself into your ear.
How is he gonna do that?
You'll find out.
That sounded a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in the gutter the first time I see it.
No, my fist is going to be pounding your earlobe until you get it right. So
Now it sounds even dirtier.
Tanya, save us! We've gone off the rails again.
Oh, here's Johnny. Oh.
Here's Tanya.
I think Tanya is presently plotting an escape as we speak. It's like, what the hell did I sign up for today?
She's like, how the hell do I get out of this one?
My children are already looking at me like, look, this is your second show. We got things to do.
We got
I was like, hold on.
Okay. I'll here's my final question to you guys, though. I mean, what could WWE be seriously disgusting? Disgusting.
Well, this is going to take a while.
Was that a Freudian slip?
It is a Freudian slip.
Freudian! God dang it! Freudian!
Shut up, grammar police.
I'm a redneck, and even I can get it right, Doc.
I don't. And I applaud you for being a redneck and still saying it correctly. I have been staying here for about almost 30 years. Shut up. My language predominantly is Japanese, so okiru. Again,
if your gun rack has a gun rack on it, you might be a redneck.
If a beaver bit your nipple off.
Okay, before you guys go off the rails, here's my final question to three of you. After Roman Reigns' exit, do you guys consider any major things that WWE can change? Huge changes in the presentation of the product on a weekly basis? Especially for Monday Night Raw. Although I'm not really saying anything about Monday Night Raw, I'm saying in general because they lost one of their top guys in Roman Reigns, so it must be something that they're going to do.
I don't think that I don't think they need changes to the presentation anyway. Just because Roman Reigns is gone, so I don't want to make it out like, well, Roman Reigns is off the show, now it can improve. That's not what I mean by that. What I'm saying is there are changes that need to be made whether Roman was there or not. But Roman's absence, while it sucks for his fans, it sucks that he has to go through what he's going through. It purely in terms of the WWE and storylines and everything, this is an opportunity to create a new star. And so they need to be attacking the storylines with the mindset, our top guy is no longer here. We got to make a new one. And so that should at least be calls for accelerated push for either a Seth Rollins or a Drew McIntyre or a Braun Strowman. So it could be exciting to see where they go. But I don't know that Roman's absence necessarily means they should do anything that they shouldn't have already been doing. So,
yeah, and I think that they put that heel turn for Dean out there as, we're gonna move on. that's and they have to. So that's what it is. And I think I don't know what they're gonna do with the tag titles. So they kind of put themselves in a pickle at the same time as making it interesting. So, I mean, I don't know if Brock wins and the Universal title goes away for a while again, and the Intercontinental Championship is.
As far as I'm concerned, if Brock Lesnar wins it, he can take it back to his farm and keep it.
Yep, I feel the same way.
If he wins.
Up in Canada with the Saskatchewan spinning nerve hold.
Hey. Greg didn't deserve that.
Greg don't deserve that. Come on. He lives in Minnesota, so he can go back in his farm.
No, he doesn't. He lives in Canada.
Oh, he lives in Canada now? Where? Yeah. Saskatchewan? Manitoba?
I don't know.
It's in the name, Saskatchewan.
One more rack from you about how I say things, and I'm gonna mute you.
Fruit. Frood and A-lister.
A-lister, the A-lister black on the red carpet again today.
And the Freudian slip.
Yeah, and the Freudian slip.
Freudian slip. It's like the fruity slip of A-lister.
I like fruit stripe gum.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like a new fragrance from Coco Chanel or something.
A Freudian A-lister.
The Freudian A-lister.
Sorry, Tanya. You should be able to speak your piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got not brought on two dorks to,
Yeah.
You started it.
Shut up!
Anyway, do you think, Tanya, do you see any significant changes WWE could do after Mr. Joe Anoa'i's departure?
I think they should go with Braun. I think he's really like the next guy up. And he's the young guy. And just see where it goes, whether he's heel or face. Like, just the guy, I mean, they've put so much on him. Just pull the trigger. He's believable. And maybe he can turn the fortune of the title around because it's been bleak, and just keep building and writing stories, and whatever they're doing with Dean and Seth, make it serious, because the last time it ended with a hologram in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Please do better this time.
They should flavor it. They should. I agree.
Please, write down how it is. They could drag it out if they do it right. They could drag it out to WrestleMania in those two 1-on-1. So just do better, try better, and don't go back to the old guys. That's they should
basically don't go back to Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
No.
Don't go.
The maniacal Dean Ambrose against the immortal Seth Rollins. Oh, sorry.
The maniacal immortal Seth Rollins. Okay.
I was being Vince McMahon in the old WrestleManias.
Jeez. Okay. Okay. I can see that because the thing is with the whole thing, I think I could see wholesale changes. I mean, I'm suggesting in my head already. I'm suggesting a huge thing like probably ending the whole brand split thing for one.
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah, really. Because if your biggest name, it's either you do the brand extension.
That's a big move there.
You do a brand. You do a combination of the two brands now, or you're going to face off with the prospect of changing all your part-timers that you have to do, the established full stars that you have from yesteryear in the names of Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kurt Angle, to name a few. You make them full-time back again.
If they were going to end the brand split because of Roman's illness, then I really wish, hindsight being 2020, they had let Roman take the belt with him and retire the title, and have it be kind of like his honor to that belt lineage. Because if they are ending the brand split, we really don't need the Universal title anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, which is why I said, if Brock Lesnar wins it, he can just take it back to his farm.
Use it for compost. Yeah.
Yeah. Reduce it to compost, but hey, that means disrespecting the whole belt. There's
still a WWE champion somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, his name is AJ Styles.
No, he's the guy. He's the guy from Atlanta.
Yeah.
As per John Cena said.
Gainesville, Georgia. Yep.
Georgia.
He's the best pro wrestler on planet Earth. And
sure.
I beg your pardon, Jinder Mahal's still alive.
And then there's also another suggestion that that came to me that it's a little bit tricky, but considering that you have lost a stable in the Shield, bring back another stable.
We are the nation. Oh,
Probably not.
not that one.
No, not that one. I'm more thinking. Run.
Run DMC. What?
Yeah, I'm more thinking Run.
The
Oh
White
no!
Family.
No! 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 Please no.
Okay.
God.
Say your piece. Bye.
Bray Wyatt just got so stale.
Braun is doing just fine without Bray Wyatt.
Oh, Brown.
Exactly.
Never mind. Brown.
Exactly.
Never mind Brown. Just cut. Just.
Braun. Braun. God dang it. Braun, not Brown. Braun.
Never
Braun
mind.
Strowman.
Yeah. Never mind. I already told you, babe. One less nip from you, and you're
Braun Strowman.
next time I'll go Brainstorming too if you wanted to.
I got time out. That's not nice.
Never mind. It's almost 1:55 in the morning for me. I need sleep. I cannot English anymore. So
No English.
no ega desu. No ega desu.
King
Oshite.
MDS.
That's just worse. Never mind. But yeah. Because some of these suggestions are outlandish. Some of them could work. I don't know. I mean, but I do envisage.
He's delirious, folks. He's delirious.
Yeah. I mean, but I do consider seeing wholesale changes being made for WWE and their plans for the future. I mean, they just lost one of their big top guys. So they should do some.
The top guy. So.
Okay.
It's,
okay. I'll accept that.
I mean, I don't know. Probably Cena and probably Cena maybe the most merch mover aside from Roman, but I think that's one of the big seller points on who's the big star. So,
well, I mean, that's just pretty much it then. That's all. That's the only question that I wanted to ask. The other stuffs, well, if you guys are still watching NJPW Road to Power Struggle, for the for the whole 8-team Super Junior Tag League. Sorry, I almost lost my voice. The standings are as okay. If you guys hate spoilers or anything, because this is actually the result for night. What was it again? Night 8. Yeah. I can't remember English as well. So here we go.
someone needs sleep.
Yeah, someone needs sleep somehow. Standings are as said, with 8 points, sharing the first, second, and third spot. We have Bushi and Shingo Takagi, Sho and Yo from Roppongi 3K, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado, both at 8 points. Next, at fourth, you have Kushida and Chris Sabin. And of course, sharing the 6 points as well. The other one is ACH and Ryusuke Taguchi. At 4 points, there's two teams with Taiji Ishimori and Robbie Eagles, with Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask. Last at the bottom spot with only 2 points, we got Volador Jr. and Soberano Jr. from CMLL, I believe. So. NJPW's next show will be tomorrow, which is today. Actually, technically, the only tournament match scheduled there will be Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger versus El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Other than that, well, the match was the whole card was great. With the obvious point out to the whole Bullet Club OG with Jay White, Bat Luck Fale, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa, and Ghetto defeating Kazuchika Okada, Toriano, Trent Beretta, Chucky T, and Rocky Romero, with the whole Tanahashi, Kazuchika Okada doing the handshake heard around the world. So, the rest, please just watch it because it's a blast.
My biggest thing. So Chris Sabin still going strong. He was one of my favorites back in the day.
Chris Sabin still is going strong.
That's good.
Just
good to hear.
I think he just partnered up with Kushida. I think in last month. I think he announced it. He's doing it. Yeah. I believe they announced it last month or last 2 months, where he announced that he's joining in for the 8-team Super Junior Tag League and partnering up against with Kushida against the rest of the team. So
nice.
There's that. But the whole for the whole night, it was fun. Nothing really shows up. Nothing really sticks out a lot. There's a lot of nitpicking to do too, but I'm not gonna push it because NDS need no hit. MDS need sleep. So
you need a sleep.
Because I think. But other than that, I think that's all. That's all I wanted to do on tonight's show. If there's anything else that you want to do or shout out, that's outside from my card, you can do it now. Anyone wants to do it live? Biff, anything you wanted to?
We'll do it live.
What? Why does it automatically assume that I've got something? I do.
I'm not assuming.
He does. He does.
He does. I'm not assuming, but suddenly when you say you admit that you do, that's even worse.
Well, if you're going to show up, you better show out. So I'm going to start my karaoke session now. For my first song today, I'd like to dedicate this to.
There you go.
Oh dear Lord.
Okay, well, you guys can follow me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Militia Malice Joe, and I also do a show on YouTube with 2 other women, Claudine and Tyler. It's called Suplexes and Shea Butter.
I should remember that. I'm gonna take a note. I'm gonna take down notes on that one because I need to promote that.
All right.
All right. Just let me know on this one. Okay. Other than that, where can I find you?
On Twitter at Militia Malice Joe.
Awesome. You okay, Biff?
Coming down the road.
Oh, he's still singing.
What? No. Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm back.
He's still singing. Where can they find you, Biff?
I mean, outside of the karaoke lounge, you can find me over at the Twitter at Real Deal Biff. That's DILL, like the pickle. You can find me over at Cage Side Seats. Not as much anymore, but I still occasionally flirt over there. And then Wednesday evening,
you treat Cage Side Seats now as a Tinder substitute, isn't it?
No, I have actual Tinder for that. Wait, what? No. I went back into that one accidentally.
Anything else, sir?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Grounds for Development drops every Thursday morning with Greg the Hole. One Spitting Nerve Hole. Great guy, great show. Give that show some love. And then the Connoisseurs of Wrestling every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube. I will not be there Monday. I'm going to pull a Taker's Minion. I'm be on assignment that night, but LL, George, and Taker have an amazing episode lined up for you, so you definitely want to be there to check it out this week.
Awesome. Okay, Mr. Jimmy.
And Ian Kinsler, you ass flew you. God.
What?
Go Red Sox.
What?
Ian Kinsler is ass flew. Go Red Sox.
Did I say something wrong?
No.
Okay.
It's baseball, Doc.
He's back on American sports.
Yeah, he's back on American sports. I know that. Just that it flew way over my head.
It went 15 innings. We played 2 whole games.
Sure.
In the morning to get my heart broken.
Okay. Liverpool 1-4-1, by the way.
Ooh, that's good. My jersey will be here next week.
Anyway, Jimmy, where can they find you?
Well, much like Biff, you can find me at your local karaoke bar or
local karaoke bar, sure.
Yeah.
Dream man over there.
You can find me on Cage Side Seats in the daily and the nightly, One Winged Angel, or on Twitter at Angel SEPH16. And I also frequent frequently guessed your neighboring podcasts that you're going to list off short of breath very soon. So,
Yeah, short of breath very soon. I'm pretty sure that Bip's gonna grammar police me again.
well, with your Freudian slip or your Freudian and
Angel?
your brown
Fruity
Strowman.
A-listers. Fruity
Angel?
Actually,
A-listers.
Brown Strowman is my favorite. I had never heard that before. So
Brown.
now
I like it brown. So
I can't get enough of it. Brown.
There is nothing good about any of you except Tanya. Tanya has been the sole source of light on this show. Doc and Angel wallowing in the muck of avarice. Just
this is what happens.
That's one of my favorite promos ever from Jake the Snake.
oh my! Now I really am going to hit on you from now on. Your stock just went
I
so
was just
far up.
about to say. I was just about to say. Are you actually quoting Jake the Snake Roberts?
Like I love that.
Oh no. You are gonna get the southern loving all the way from Biff Kensington and back.
I'm going to be laying that gravy on extra thick now.
Oh,
I hope that
no.
includes jambalaya. Jambalaya.
Oh,
Give me some of that gumbo. Crawfish.
It's actually a pulled pork here, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you're in Carolina.
yeah.
We do it classy. I'm a classy person.
Oh my eyes. Anyway,
But I gotta be honest. Thank you, Sanju and Angle and Tanya.
he's just he now needs a karaoke bar and a bar.
Yeah. Well, Bife is a very good guy. So
in here, so
good job, Bife.
Of course.
Thank you, Bife.
Bife.
Bife, yeah.
Is it? Is it not Steph? Is it not Steph?
Beef? Beef Kensington here.
Oh, beef. Or beef steaks.
Beef Kensington.
Oh my. Beef Kensington a la mode.
Beef Wellington the third.
I'll do a Vince McMahon and just
well, there's
say,
there's the best.
Go ahead.
Bugs Bunny sirloin of beef.
I'm gonna channel Vince McMahon and go, can I have the decency and dignity to finish off my show?
The jocularity.
The whole penultimate conundrum of finishing off my show.
The penultimate conundrum. That's big boy words.
Because I'm a big boy. Hey, big boy. Anyway, you can...
I love you, Doc. I teach because I care.
Yes, I know. Okay. With all that shit behind me now, you can catch me on the Twitter machine at Mr. Dr. Sanju. That's MRDR Sanju, not Sanju. Or any way you slice it. I don't know how you gonna bungle Sanju. You can also catch me on the official Shootin' Debris Twitter podcast. That is Shootin' SHOOTINDABREEZ1. You can also catch me on irregular moments on Cage Side Seats on the daily as well as the nightly. And also catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, as well as YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and give us a support or comment or just give a thumbs up. That's all we ask for. Anywho, before I wrap up, I have to do a lot of plugs, as I often always do, as I often always jumble it up in all single breath.
Take a deep breath.
Take one deep breath. I have the Los Ingobernables Day podcast podcasts that are flying under the banner. We are hopefully going to be moving onto Twitch on December. Let's hope that it will go off without a hitch. One of these shows that you can catch is Two Guys One Sport with Crazy Chris Colgan and George Curtin Jerko Atsabes. Chris right now is over at TwitchCon. If you guys are there live, please go see him live and say hello. Just give him a thumbs up, give him a give him a like and whatnot. Just give him a hug too. He needs hugs. So there's that. And then you got Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with William Fitzpatrick. He has quite an interesting show this week, which he done earlier in the morning. So there's that. And then you have Violent Wrestling Podcast with Ambrose Alley and Prince Maxi Lopez. We got Ambrose Alley's Ramblings. I don't know whether that is still going on, but I am still going to plug it in. You have Match Fixing with Don Sakuzmano over at Outer Line Media. And you have Ruthless Aggression Podcast with Metal Matt. Again, I'm going to sound it off. Connoisseurs of Wrestling with Taker's Minion, Biff Kensington, George Chavez, and Legend Lover. And we have Grounds for Development with Beef Kensington, Leather,
Rice sirloin of beef.
Rice Sirloin of Beef, and Saskatchewan Spinning Nerve Hold, or Greg number 5. So
You just set me up with a softball. I'm not going to swing at it.
just go swing at it. I'm going to mute
I'm going to
you
swing,
here.
swing at it in the chat. I'll go do that.
Nah, you don't want to do that. In any case, other podcasts, other stuff that I promote, my partners promote. Big Rick Travels with Big Rick Steve. They do he does a podcast on his big rig as he does his rounds on the big truck. So there's that. And to those of you sumo enthusiasts, we have Mbovo Sumo over at Twitch TV channel. That's MBOVO Sumo at Twitch TV channel. Of course, if you guys are into gaming and whatnot, please check out Crazy Chris 576 over at Twitch. That's Crazy Chris 576. Again, he's over at TwitchCon right now. If you guys see him live, say hello and say that MDS still loves me. Still loves you. So there's that.
He's crazy.
Oh, he's crazy. In any case, this has been episode 65 for the Emperor. For the Empire, not for the Emperor. My Emperor is still on the throne, so there's that.
For the Empire.
So for the Empire. Thank you once again to guests Tanya Rogers, Jimmy, and Monsieur Sirloin Steak.
That's what I am. I'm just a piece of meat to you, ain't I?
Not for me, but for the women.
Tougher than a $2 steak. That's what he is.
Yep.
I'm a damn.
Again, thank you guys once again. Tanya, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, piece of meat, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This was a great show. And
I hope that
I want to say one more thing that
go ahead.
I just wish the best for Roman. So just want to put one more little feeler out.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I hope that this has been a little bit of a cheerful moment for Tanya, of course, especially since it has been a pleasure having you on. Biff Steak, I'll have you hung up with a meat hook later on. So don't you worry.
Well, damn.
Well, damn.
I'm not a cow. I have feelings, you know.
Anyway,
well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit angel. You just went to the dark side.
For Tanya Rogers, for One Winged Angel, for Mr. Beef,
spokesman,
Mr. Beef,
Rice sirloin of beef.
The third, I am Mr. Dr. Sanjiru. Again,
get the show off the air.
Yes. Biff comes into the chair. Jimmy, Tanya Rogers, I am Mr. Dr. Sanjiru. Take care of yourself, all right? I'm serious. Take care of yourself. Make sure to smile, and I'll see you next week.
Adam Rice, your sports team sucks still.